listen up here. By the end of this video, you're gonna understand why 90% of people lose all their money from being reckless, why they crash and burn, and you hear the horrible rumors, never start investing, stay away from the market. Through this video, you'll learn how to not be one of them. And I'm not here to hype you up. I'm here to show you how to survive and actually have potential to win this game. So I want you to pay attention here. Most new traders lose before they even place their first order trade, before they commit, before they truly try to reach their goals. And it's not because they're lazy, it's because they don't understand the system. A lot of people go through life with nobody ever really explaining how to trade. There's no mentor, there's no clear guidance. They just had to figure it out themselves. Usually through painful trial and error. That was me. And if you met me back then, I would have been desperate for the kind of advice that I'm about to give you right now. Because Forex isn't just green candles and easy profit. It's not you place a trade and then money prints and then you're done. The truth is it's nothing like that. And the way you approach your first 48 hours of actually watching the market will decide whether you can make a career out of this or not. So let me take you back. Years ago, I knew a guy, let's just call him Jake, a normal dude, regular job. He watched a few trading videos and he thought he'd figure it out and believed he had the world at his fingertips. So why not jump all in? A few of his friends even told him it was easy. So he downloaded MetaTrader, an easy platform for beginners. Nothing wrong with it. It's just simple to sign up to and even easier to get carried away with. He opened his first account. His adrenaline was pumping through the roof. Check his pulse. Boom, 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 like that. Picked a random currency pair that looked like it was going up. He bought at a market price. There was no plan, no system, no clue what a stop loss even meant. No one had ever taught him how to enter a trade. But back then, there wasn't a mentor on YouTube breaking this down in plain language. It was just chaos for beginners. And well, Jake was running on nothing but excitement and a gut feeling. That is when things started to go wrong. Here's the first thing he didn't know. The moment you place a trade on MetaTrader, you're already in the red. It's called the spread, the gap between the price you buy it and the price you could sell it right now. That's how your broker makes money. They take the cut every single trade. So Jake hits buy and immediately he makes a foolish loss. His account is bleeding and he's staring at the chart turning red. He's absolutely confused. Yo, what's going on? Panic, he closes the trade, a solid loss of about 8% of his account in less than 10 minutes. Imagine if that had been $1 million account. These guys spend their days saying, put me on an account, only to be incapable of managing hundreds of dollars. Imagine letting them have $1 million. So here's the thing, Jake makes the biggest mistake before he even made his trade. The real killer here, and the thing that fucks up most beginners, is what the first loss does to their brain. Because now Jake's not just trading with money, he's trading with ego and pride, a little bit of recklessness. These same problems come back and back again. And when you mix those types of emotions with the market, well, shit gets risky, real dangerous, really fast. Jake's still glued to the screen after the first hit. His pulse hasn't slowed down and the doubt is already creeping in. It wasn't a huge loss, but it cracked something inside of him. Now he knows this isn't just a game. This is real. The candles aren't just lines anymore. They're landmines, and he's conscious of it. He should stop, breathe, or figure out what just happened. But instead, he convinces himself that one more trade will fix it all. Not because there's a setup or proof, but because he's angry, he's pissed off, he's mad at the charts, angry at himself, and then acts impulsively as a man without direction. Not about trading at this very moment, it's about getting revenge. And that right there, that's where most traders torch day one. The second you start trading for revenge, you've already lost the fight. He jumps back into MetaTrader with a little knot in his chest and absolutely no plan, no checking structure, not marking up zones, no real reason to be in the trade except I'm gonna make that money back. So he spots a random spike and says, yep, this is it. Not because it's clean, but because it's moving fast. And therefore he smashes buy without hesitation, just like every rookie does. No stop loss, no risk control, no actual trade idea, just pure impulse. Price flickers green, and now Jake's locked in. He's breathing hard. He refreshes his screen, and every few seconds, like a complete absolute maniac, he sees a little tiny profit, something like $5, and all of a sudden, he randomly closes it. These guys are scared it'll vanish if they wait for another candle. For a moment, Jake feels like he beat the system. Whoa, but 10 minutes later, price smashes straight to the target he should have held for. Now, he's staring at his phone thinking, why do I always exit too early? Here's the thing, no one tells you when you start, you didn't close early because of the strategy, you closed because you don't trust yourself yet. And you're kind of a moron if you think you can. You're entering the buy on hope, not confirmation. You're reacting to the chart instead of reading it. reading it. It's very simple. You got no system, structure, or rules backing you up. That's why every tiny win feels life or death. And you panic the moment you see green instead of holding strong. So Jake logs off for the night, but he's not okay. He's pissed. I would be too. He doesn't even feel like a trader. His dick's in his ass and he feels like the market just played him. When he wakes up on day 2, he's not showing up to trade smart. He's showing up to just try and get even. Already, he's feeling behind and pissed off. He's not even thinking about his strategy. He's thinking about getting his money back. The loss from yesterday is still sitting in his chest, heavy as hell, weighing him down with every second he looks at the charts. And that right there, that's the trap most beginners walk straight into without even realizing it. They come in trying to fix pain, not trying to trade clean. He skips breakfast. He doesn't stretch, doesn't breathe. He doesn't backtest a single thing. Jake simply opens his MetaTrader and starts scanning pairs like he's hunting a wild beast. He's on the prowl. He's bloodthirsty. He's not thinking in long term. He's not thinking about one process or risk or goals. He's thinking, I need one win to erase that feeling. And that mindset is gonna f you harder than any setup ever could. He finds a setup that, kinda, maybe looks decent, and that's enough for him. He doesn't double check the zone. He doesn't mark his levels clean. He just wants in a trade. So he enters way heavier than yesterday. The bigger lot size adds a lot more pressure. There's way more emotion behind the click, and then he loses himself. And for a second, the trade actually starts working. Oh wow, it's moving in his direction, and he feels that fake ass relief again. It's kind of bittersweet. Jake failed to see that there was a news event scheduled in like 10 minutes because he didn't check the calendar. Didn't even know what pair he was trading during. News hits and the chart goes wild. It suddenly spikes up, completely fakes him out, and then reverses instantly like a trap door. In seconds, he's down double what he risked yesterday. And because he didn't set a stop loss, he's sitting there watching it bleed in real time. His equity drops, his hands freeze, and instead of cutting it, he holds and prays and tells himself, it might come back if I just wait. But the market doesn't care about your hope. It does what it wants. Usually, that involves cooking the ever-living shit out of you unless you can act smart. 15 minutes passes, and he finally can't take it anymore. Closes the trade in full panic mode, half of the count is gone, and just like that, again, imagine if that was $1 million or $1 billion account, you simply cannot stroll onto the industry and expect to become the sole director of some fortune. Even if you did, you would be foolish to think you can manage it at all without learning first. With Jake, now he's not just losing money, he lost the belief in himself. So sitting there in silence, staring at the numbers like he's watching his own funeral, the money's gone. But the worst part, he still doesn't even know what he did wrong. And that right there, that's when most people quit. But the smart ones, they finally shut up and lose the ego and they start listening. Here's the real shit that would have saved him, the truth of the game. It's not about calling direction, that's what rookies chase. Real traders aren't here to be right. They're simply here to just make money. It's not about hitting home runs, it's about not striking out stupid. You win by protecting your downside first. Always, there's no exceptions, no emotion. Jake never did that. He placed trades without knowing why. He never measured risk, never marked up zones, never confirmed anything. He just clicked buttons and prayed the chart would make sense later. And now he's sitting in silence, holding the weight of that ignorance. Here's what Jake should have done before he ever opened MetaTrader. Built a system that didn't require guessing every damn candle, wrote out an actual checklist and stuck to it like it was his religion, defined his stop loss first, then built his entry around that, known the exact moments when he was wrong, and had the balls to take a loss. Instead, he chased spikes, he chased hope, he chased recovery, and chased an outcome instead of following a process. And every single time you chase something that isn't planned, you're not a trader, you're just a gambler who memorized some buzzwords on YouTube. The difference between blowing up and breaking through was one word: it's preparation. Jake didn't prepare. He thought learning meant watching someone else click buttons. But trading isn't something you watch, it's something you build. You want the big lesson here? The game doesn't punish you for losing trades. It punishes you for being undisciplined when it mattered the most. Jake's not out because he lost money, he's out because he had no edge. If that's you right now, then you better hear me loud and clear. There's no strategy that can save you if your mindset is soft. There's no setup that will work if your risk is all over the place. And no win means if you can't repeat it tomorrow. So Jake's story, that's not just some cautionary tale. That's what's waiting for you if you keep bullshitting this process. And if this part hits you in the gut, good. That means you're finally ready to stop playing games and actually ready to start trading. Now, you've seen what happens when you trade blind. You've seen what emotion does when you let it drive the car. But here's the part no one ever talks about. You can survive this. You can actually come back from that kind of pain, but only if you're willing to rebuild in the right direction. You don't need more setups. You need a little more patience. One clean plan, with zero emotion. That's how you survive this game. So if you got the value from this video, then hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.